Just, this is America. And it matters how you see it. It matters if you see that freedom was never free. It matters that you understand that wokeness is a crime in some states. And perhaps what is that wokeness? Well, understand what I'm talking about. What I value is my liberty and justice, and just for me. And as I'm coming along, if you need little support, I don't mind helping. I've raised 3 sons. Each of my sons are aligned with family values. I'll put it like that. And so many women would downgrade or berate families who are trying to stay strong together, but what can I say? Liberty and justice. Welcome to my live. This is Darlene Anderson, who I understand. It matters if you're in the room. It matters. What does it matter? It matters if your name begins with an A or a B, your last name, because honestly, I was never on the list for long for Section 8 housing, but everything is changing, boo. Everything is changing. The nature of the game is the beast. And the beast is someone who looks at the money and figures out how they could gain access to the money and the revenue that perhaps you're generating. And it just doesn't make a damn bit of sense. Because across this nation, we've allowed them to value something that we're generating. And that is mandatory public education. As you know, for whatever reason, if you choose to file a complaint, a civil rights complaint, well, you have to go online, and no matter how many times you file it within the state, it may never leave the state, boo. It's stuck inside the state. What does that mean? Update, the drought monitor. Can you imagine the drought monitor? All this extra water we're getting in some of these states, and can't do anything with it because we haven't planned to do anything with it. Isn't it amazing that Obama said, in your worst nightmare, figure it out. What would you do to ensure adequacy happen in the states that you live in? Let me see if I can share my live and see if we can get some people in the room, because conversation is real. We'll post it on, and we're gonna go and share it on Snapchat. Why not? Step away for a minute. So, let's step away for a minute. So, let's just talk about life, shall we? I am 67 years old and grateful to be living. 67 is real. I have 3 sons, and unfortunately, all 3 sons, I had 3 baby daddies, and they're all deceased, and that's just real. As far as extended family, I have my extended family because my mother was always there for me. She was a wonderful provider. And she was married, and I had a stepfather, and he was awesome. He was an amazing person, William Henry Harden. And I have a brother. Good morning, good morning. And we have family. You get it? So many people don't have family anymore. Oh, you're in Canada. Well, isn't it cold up there with that solar vortex going on and shit? It's real cold. And welcome. But I'm just trying to understand. I'm living in Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. You know where Sammy Davis Jr. and I mean, Mr. Bojangles just danced on the strip. But then understand, Tupac was unalived here. And he really was. And I didn't realize that he died here. But they're still having a trial about who unalived Tupac. And I'm saying, wow, I think that God's already taken care of that. The universe seems to do that. Everything comes around, goes around. You get it. But here we are living in a nation, and you have to understand, the current president has an obligation to talk about the number of undereducated people who are living on the streets across this nation. And they are undereducated. They share no values, no common values, nothing. in line, and we are getting ready to hit the shit fan when, McDonald's ain't hiring anymore. McDonald's has automation. I mean, check your own self out at Walmart. But Walmart had to hire some few people back because, you know, thievery and switching prices. People are going to do what they have to do to survive, and that's just real. So life has changed. And what has changed about you? I'm older. Am I wiser? I believe so. I have a roof over my head and grateful to have it. Realizing that the sacrifice for you is what people are willing to do. In 1994, I had a workers' comp injury. I saw my boss carefully wrote it out as if it was an injury that occurred based on repetitive use of my body, as I was in a position to do so much heavy lifting, mail bags, over 100 pounds. And it didn't really matter. I was going to do whatever I needed to do to maintain that job because I had 2 sons. Unfortunately, I got pregnant. But in that environment where the copying machines were and all that other stuff, I got sick as a dog. I didn't understand it. But the chemicals from the inks and the dyes that they were using in the next door to the mailroom was in a portable. And that portable, I was injured, and they say I have rheumatoid arthritis, but I never would have known that had I not left the state of California, because now I'm in Nevada and can't get health care. Isn't that amazing? That people will lie and come together to fuck you over. And then I realized that in America, that's what's happened to the black community. We've just gotten fucked. People don't understand that early education is required. And so many people just lose their children to the system. And I do mean they're lost. They're in the foster care system. And then we've lost them forever because they're not connected to their families. And then they don't have the foundational skills. I mean, nobody raised them. And then you realize that, what do they call this? They want you to assimilate in America. Black people, look, this chocolate ain't never gonna assimilate. It ain't never gonna come into place and be in a position where I'm not gonna look like I'm black. So therefore, I'm black, so get back. I'm trying not to have all these extra wrinkles, but stress is real. And so, here we are, living in America with no rights, no human rights. Don't you understand? All those deaths of those unsuspecting, especially that Elijah McClain. And then you just need to understand, special education just exists. What is it? And it's awesome. It's like Burger King. I ain't lying. My son got everything he needed because we used the healthcare system. I mean, we went to the doctor. When you need a bellyache, you got to go to the doctor. And when you got a problem in public education, you got to go to the doctor. And they have an obligation because you know what? We all pay. We're all paying for this thing called healthcare. And that is the debate on the Hill. Healthcare. And can you imagine? Why don't we have just universal care? As everybody pays for healthcare. And I'm saying, I'm not paying for shit when it comes down to healthcare because, quite frankly, I was injured on the job. They gave me Social Security disability, and they all got together. It was a criminal thing. It's called, what is it? When people get together? Collusion? Hello? It's called collusion. And they all got together. The county, Los Rios, and the state. Oh, thank you. I won't add a taste of tap water. I don't know what that is. But anyways, they all got together and they gave me Social Security. And so I've been on Social Security since I was 38 years old. And now I'm 67. And I said, oh yeah, hey, I still wear a size 6. I'm 5'10". And I wear I probably weigh about 189 pounds. That's what I weigh. Thank you. It is white. I mean, I bleached it because it's got a little bit of gray in there. See down there? You can finally see the gray in there. And anyways, this is all gray. That's nothing. 67 is knowledge, boo. It's wisdom. I've been through some shit, and that is no lie. I had 3 baby daddies. Unfortunately, they all in the urn. I mean, they made their way past, whatever. And they didn't help with their sons, but I sacrificed. And sacrifice. No, I gave to my children, and I believe you should give to my children are with me. And guess what? Because I have a disability, they're just not included in my benefits, meaning that they could give to me all they want to, because I'm entitled to extra help, and that's what extra help is all about. But y'all gonna understand there's just rules to this game. Games people play, night and day, they just ain't backing what they will do. That's my middle child. No, that's my oldest child. He's 41. And I have a 39-year-old, and I have a 28-year-old. And my 28-year-old, we had to go to the Department of Rehab. Now, see, this is the game that people are playing. State Department of Rehab schedules appointments every year, one time a year. And we have to go. And then they want to know exactly what he's doing. And then they offer these shitty-ass programs, which I'm not going to partake in. I don't know about the programs, but I do know that we have family. And I have sons, and my sons will make sure that my son gets what he needs. And that's just real. I'm so blessed to have 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? It's like an army. That's what it's like. It's an army. And you have to have a foundation in America. But what are you going to do? Here we are, where they're playing games with the stock market. Hell, you motherfuckers never would have got in. And this is insane. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she got in, and she said, oh, she gonna retire with that. Ooh, she got millions of dollars now. She came in with $750,000. She got millions of dollars. She's playing it. Hey, it's real. We should not be wearing people's hair. We should be wearing our own. We all have hair. I am not my hair. She sung that song, didn't she? She said understand who she was because she wasn't her hair. And then what they would like to do is force you to do what? Stick by their vision of life, their vision of liberty, the vision of justice. And it's just not us. You recall the only thing you learn in elementary school is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, unto the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for Darlene Anderson. And if you don't share my show, then I don't grow. You get it? So I need you all to like it and to share it so that I can start getting my pennies. I was getting pennies over there. Ooh, believe me. I was getting at least $35 or $40 a month over there on Wisdom and Anchor. Oh, and it was amazing because I was taking care of my mom. I really didn't have a whole lot to do, free time. But then she passed away in 22. Now these motherfuckers are holding on to her tax dollars as I became, what? The administrator of this state. And I think that they think a problem is when you as an individual can follow the process and follow the rules, then because you didn't bring anybody else on in the game, then they don't want to let you have it. It's the same thing with the timeshare, but we have to change that. You can change the narrative. Because quite frankly, the state of California owes me, because it was the state of California that allowed Kaiser Permanente, my supervisor, and those people over at Los Rios to say that I had something I just didn't have, and that it wrote it to where I didn't have any benefits, just chronic pain, and there's no survival under chronic pain. But honey, when you come to Viva Las Vegas, when you come to Vegas, everything that you do in Vegas is under Vegas. And I smoke weed every day. I'm not lying. I don't take the pain pills anymore. I don't take the Vioxx. I don't take the methocarbal. I don't take none of that shit. Gabapentin, none of it, because it doesn't work. It's man-made, but God already made the cure. So survival is key, but sometimes you have to have steroids to knock it back in line, That's that whatever gets out of line. when the weather changes. But I wanted to talk to you, my public, because you are my public. And hopefully I can reach some people in Vegas, because we have a lot of black elected officials, but unfortunately those Negroes are not talking about the failed services that are mandatory from the public education system. I say, Mississippi, goddamn, it's like the water. It's like they didn't understand what they did to those people up there in Michigan, but those are life struggles. And I'm saying enough is enough. So, here in Vegas, they did this thing in 2019, I think. It was something like the Prime 6. They allowed them to move the money and create these programs where certain children would be on track to benefit. Now, the Prime 6 schools did work for some children, but it didn't work for the children who were generating the money. So, let's just understand, Title I is Title I, and always going to be Title I. And 30, 60, 90 days into the year, then your school's supposed to have a meeting. It's a community, it's a public meeting, it's a school site council meeting, and what does it look like? But when you're not participating, well, your voice is never heard. Hell, you motherfuckers just don't show up. I'm sorry, it's how I see it. But when you are walking on the playground and you got your grandbaby, and someone else is walking around going, and hitting your grandbaby, what the hell you gonna do? You're gonna understand that everybody doesn't learn the same. But we need to make sure that there are services on the ground that can handle children who cannot communicate. You get it? And that's why America, those senators up there, they created this thing called Child Fine. Now, Child Fine, just go look up those two words and you will get a definition. And that's when you go find the 504 and special education and the IDEA, and you're going to find it all. So, you're going to understand that special education in America is just Burger King. And I'm going to tell you, it's okay if you watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Everything will be okay. Well, JoJo, I don't know about your Bizarre Adventures, but guess what? We just all going to have to show up. Because guess what? This is the year of 2025. It's not in the year of 25, if I was, but we're not going to even make it that far. It's just not going to happen. Well, JoJo, I'm glad you're here because we could use you. What state are you in, JoJo? Because I'm in Las Vegas. Viva! I'm over there in Vegas where they killed Tupac. But then you have to understand, all those other individuals that we sing about in songs in the black community is enough. Enough is enough. Hey, it's we the people. And we have to understand, united we stand, but divided we do fall. And it is going to be our obligation to ensure that adequacy happens. So, I don't fault Kamala, because she had it going on in the state of California. That's right. Every 3-year-old was getting enrolled in public education. And that's just real. And I believe that if you enroll every child by the time they're 3 years old in the public education system, we will do it. We'll rock this nation. But when you start dividing us by financial resources, I'm sorry, when you go up to 500% of the poverty index so you can ensure the people with money and jobs get the benefits, I'm sorry. It is just not acceptable, especially when I'm watching it. And so people who are living in those poor communities where Head Start was actually created, and then you have to understand, what was it that the Black Panthers brought to Oakland and San Francisco? The Panthers brought a way to stand up and be heard. So when they showed up to Capitol, with them guns, hey, that just could not be. So now we have this fight within the community. Thank you for the sticker. And I know I got sticker pictures, but I'm not going to use them right now. I'm just talking shit because I can. And, the whole thing is, I can get on YouTube, but I was over there on Fanbase. Can I even share? Let me see if I can share a green screen. Share. And at least 1 minute. Oh, well, I was not. Let me see what I can do here. Retouch is on. What is that? Oh, no. Makeup. Lenses. No. No, we're not going to do any of that. And we're just going to do all of that off. What is that one down there? I don't have a top filter. But anyways, just because you think you've made it doesn't mean you necessarily made it. We got fan base and Isaac Hayes' son. And he doesn't understand all of the games these motherfuckers are playing out here. They're not gonna let him be successful if they have anything to do with it. $3.99, he finally dropped back down to $3.99. If I get $3.99 before the end of the year, I'm gonna get me a share of fan base. Because I was trying to get on it on this side of the world, and guess what? They won't let me on. No, they are terrified. But that's okay. I got YouTube. How did I get YouTube? I only got YouTube because I had come on and Zoom. Come on and Zoom. Because Zoom is $164 a year, and it allows you to stream live over there on Facebook. That's right, for more than 60 minutes. Or you could go over here on YouTube and stream for more than 15, 20 minutes. You could just stream for an hour if you want to. But you got to have something to say because people don't give a fuck. And that's just real. So I'm going to tell you, in America, it is we the people. What does we the people look like? Well, hell, I don't know. Because when it comes election time, and it's almost election time, you motherfuckers haven't registered to vote. Because you said, you're going to vote? What are we going to vote for? It don't make no difference. And that's what I hear. That's what I see. Disgust. But pimping ain't easy. And we've allowed them to harvest. And I'm not going to be harvested anymore. No. When the doctor said, oh, no, you have that, I said, well, somebody needs to fix this shit. Because I simply qualified for everything. I tried to do my best for self-advocacy, and that shit did not work. So if the program doesn't work, then you have to hold the program accountable. There is no other way to do this. You have to hold your system accountable to redress your government. See, I got a good-looking kid. My kids are not overweight. You know, my son told me, he said, Mom, we ain't drank no Kool-Aid in I don't know how long. I said, that's right. We left Kool-Aid on the shelf. And we moved to the sodas just temporarily. But we really didn't move to the sodas. Now we didn't move to the yak. Because you almost need that. You need a drink to chill out. So, there are many people on the ground here in Las Vegas that are trying to address the services for undereducated African American children. But the deal is that, look at this man that just on the football plate, he was top of his game. His name's Sherrard something. And y'all know he had an affair. That motherfucker was married, but he had an affair. Now, see, so many people have affairs. One of my children was by an affair, but I just didn't realize. I mean, I was going through a divorce, and I had been going through a divorce for a while. And then this man, he claims he was going through a divorce. He had his kids. He was living alone, I thought. And no, that was just not the case. His wife had an apartment over there in Oakland, and he had one in Sacramento. He claimed he was there for work or whatever. Maybe he was. But anyway, he was having an affair. And then she wants somebody to accept responsibility. No, because I accept responsibility when I walked away from that shit. And he could have his life and choose not to ever look back. That's what he chose to do. He passed away recently. And guess what? Under Social Security rules, his son had a disability, and my son's getting ready to get some benefits from this motherfucker who never paid a dime. Oh, he paid $150 and one pair of tennis shoes. God takes care of everything in life. My other children got something from their fathers. It's unfortunate that families do steal, and it is what it is. But they can't take away from you what the universe planted within you, and that's just real. I'm coming from Mississippi, understanding the strife that happened in Greenwood, Mississippi. That's where I was born. Yep. And my grandfather, Pete Thomas, that was strange. Thank you for bringing me back. I'm going to tell you, this is life. And we have to understand that we are troubled. Troubled by what? Troubled by what is happening. The micromanagement of human beings. And you know, I was listening to Homegirl. She was talking about Coco, you know, the tennis player, the young African American. And she was talking about they wanted her to play their game. And when she didn't respond like they wanted her to respond, then they made shit hard for her, and that's just real. So what can we say? People need to understand we are only who we are. I never really, I watched some of the movies and some of the shit, but they're not a lot. You don't have a lot of time for that, not at all. And what we do have time for is self-advocacy, as failure is not acceptable. Now here in Las Vegas, they have a 259% issues of willful defiance from black children in the public school system. What is willful defiance? Hell if I know. And then they had a 88% population of black children in the juvenile facilities. Somebody help me with the 88% because it's a lot of black children. And then they've had all these other issues of sex trafficking and shit going on here in Vegas. And I'm saying enough is enough. Because some of these rappers, some of these black men who can be leaders of these black people are not allowed to be here on the strip. And I'm saying, fuck this shit. Who determines who can come and who is overseeing my behavior? I want to know who the fuck just tried to cut off my life, because quite frankly, it was interrupted and I wasn't getting no phone call. You get it? And I'm being banned or restricted from being over there on Fanbase, but I believe that I can share my videos still over there on Fanbase because I've done that before. And it is all about understanding the tools and the games that people play. Games people play night and day, they just ain't macking what they will do to keep on screwing you. Been down too long, right, wrong, it just ain't happening. What will you do to keep on saving yourself? Because I'm willing to do whatever I need to do. That's right. So my challenge is, we have who? Senator Aaron Ford. He is a senator, right? Running for governor. And quite frankly, y'all black Negroes, y'all Negroes everywhere, because we got enough Negroes here in Vegas, need to get your pennies together and start sending some donations into our black senator who is advocating for us to ensure that equity actually happens in Vegas. And why can't we get Winston Marsalis here, somebody like that? And then why can't we have the first ever musical university here, this side of the west side of the Mississippi, this side of the Mississippi, because Mississippi, goddamn, what happened up there in Michigan was tragic, but what's happening in Mississippi now is more tragic. And what's happening across this nation when we have the president of the United States over there trying to talk to China about, what are we talking about? Copyright, the copyright, the ownership shits. You get it? And so if China done told America, hell, if you ain't paying the niggas, why the fuck are we? That's the deal. And so no, black people still ain't making all that money unless they're doing it directly to the people. So we have Jay King over there on, what is it? 97.5. FM on the radio dial. He is also over the Black Chamber of Commerce. Does he understand the power he has? Well, what can I say? Limited. But he said, Karen White.
I'm gonna put some gas in. I'll be ready.
All right, you got. You got to fill it up. You good? All right. You got her set up in there, so she's not gonna try to come out.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And so, like I said, he's promoting Karen White. Karen White has a brand new single out. It's only $1.28. How many people, how many Negroes can we get to go on Karen White's, show the force of the unity that we have in our community and buy that $1.28 song? I am all for showing force. You get it? Because pimping ain't easy. But hell, when you decide to do it, leadership is not easy either. But when you decide to lead, you just get off your ass and step up. Enough is enough. And I am truly sick and tired of being sick and tired of not even having the voice to share concern about those 7,000 infants under 3, 3 to 5, that need a place to be under child care. Now they're talking about creating more child care programs, and the people who get the money, Nevada Prep, all those other motherfuckers, whatever, they get the money already. They've never been concerned about their jobs until now, because now they must produce. So, isn't it amazing? And I'll say good morning and welcome to my live. I have a Parent Empowerment half an hour. It's over there on Spotify. Motherfuckers have been limiting access to that show too. It has over 17,000, come on now, clicks. But I can't get a penny, not one penny. And that's what's getting ready to change. Bottom to the top. Come on, yeah? I need you. Help. I need somebody. Help. Not just anybody. I need all of y'all to understand that we can change the narrative. We run the game. And what is the game? Pimping ain't easy, but somebody's been doing it for a long time. Are you watching? Everybody has an opportunity to get on the bottom floor. Motherfuckers, they need your dollars because they ain't making sense. And I'm saying, who wants to get in on the bottom floor of stock trade when we need to figure out where we're going to send our children because they are part of the harvest? And we didn't understand. Each child generating a certain dollar. And some of these community programs ain't letting them in. And that's enough. Enough is enough. We have to be obligated to ensure that adequacy happens for people who look like us. I don't know if I'm going to like these little scars. I'm going to have to do some exercises. Because I certainly got some stress lines in my face. Ones I never had before. But they come as you age. Now, they're not going to let me know how many people are watching my live, so I want everyone who is here, please share the live, share the live, share the live, because they ain't running shit, and they don't run the game. We run it, and we are running it. Karen White, that's the first push that I've heard that needed some little help, $1.28. Everybody can afford $1. And if you give me some stars and some shiny things, I don't know what they give over here, but on YouTube, but they do count the clicks, so count it up. That's just real. Be a top fan. Help me in the morning. It's real. So I'm getting really sick and tired of being sick and tired of understanding that, the federal government, well, they just don't get involved. Do you understand why? Maybe you don't. Because Baby Bush, when he was in office, after he beat Al Gore, he just said, if the people in the state ain't together, well, nothing's going to change. So I'm saying, wake up everybody. No, wake up everybody. No more sleeping in bed. It's time for get off your ass and start thinking ahead. That's really what it is. Because we can't afford this shit anymore. And like I said, they told me I had, what they say? Fibromyalgia. And then I looked into it. It doesn't really allow you to have any cure. And then they were saying how much I was complaining about pain and everything and how horrible I was feeling, but it really didn't matter because they weren't giving me shit. And now I moved to Vegas and stopped complaining about the pain. You just have to figure out how you deal with it. And so I was feeling so bad one day. I went to the doctor and said, please check and see what's going on. She did my blood. She says, oh, honey, I'm so sorry to tell you, but you have a rheumatoid arthritis. I said, how the hell did that happen? Because it's in my blood. And every time I had a spike, they were giving me prednisone to calm it down. And I'm saying enough is enough because fraud is real. And unless you're willing to stand up and fight, you're not going to win. So this is a time where all black people need to, you don't even got to come together, just need to stand up and say what it is that you feel about what's going on, because this is disgusting. And as they're killing our children for failing to comply or be unalived, I'm saying you don't even have to speak the language, because when they yell at you and you didn't speak the language and didn't comprehend, they can kill you. And I'm saying enough is enough. Who gives them the authority? It's not the Lord, boo. It's not God. So it's God's moment in time. And I'm going to say, peace be with you. What is it? Assalamu alaikum salam, whatever. It is whatever. Do I have a junk drawer? Oh, hell yeah, I do have a junk drawer. What is it? Somebody's watching me. Yes, of course. there we go. And then and it'll be done. And then it'll be done. And who cares? Who cares? Because we got to go. And I'm going to go. But I'm going to tell you, from now until forever, it is we the people. And what will you do in the year of 2025? I hope that you will choose to be alive and don't stand for the bullshit, because failure was never an option. But what will you do in 2025? Who are we demanding answers from? You know it's your damn governor, right? Because he just has ad hoc committee shit. And when the state don't do what it's supposed to do, it uses an ad hoc committee to run a game, the last game. But will you let that game be ran? Hell no. So we wake up in the morning and we got to do what we got to do. Failure's not an option. We're going to have to talk about where is we at, because, delaying kindergarten to the age of 9 is not going to work for you motherfuckers, because no, you're not going to get paid 9 years of services and provide nothing. That is the deal. When you claim you're providing services and you have no demonstration of the maintenance of effort, shit is not happening. So we'll see. I'm going to talk every day. Please follow my podcast over there on Spotify. It's called Parent Empowerment Half an Hour. Or follow me, Citizen Anderson. I understand the power in the being a citizen. Citizen Anderson over there on Podbeam, that they fuck with that show too. And what don't they fuck with? Maybe Instagram? I don't know. But y'all gonna wake up. Because I didn't think that they could reach over here and snap over here on YouTube, and they did. They shut me down. And they pop right back up because they didn't know I paid for this shit too. Y'all have a blessed day.